Right now I'm having to, because we're calf sharing, the calf is eating a lot of her milk in the front 2 teats, which are the bigger ones, which leaves me these smaller back teats. And because this is Mia's only 2nd calf, they're just not that big. And it's hard to get a good milk, so I ended up having to strip milk them, which is when you see me using one hand and kind of that strip milking. You want to get some sort of oil for the first. I'll probably switch to some olive oil. What's been recommended to me is Bag Balm, which is what I'm using right now, just to help cracks in the first month or so of milking. And just make sure your fingers don't, your milk doesn't touch the fingers and go in, otherwise you're gonna have Bag Balm milk, which would not be great. So I have these measly 2 back teats, which I get quite a bit from, gallon and a half without separating the calf. So I would imagine I'll get a good couple gallons once we separate. That is the pig. So you saw she was pretty kicky at the beginning. I had one of you comment and say that when their mom or grandmother milked, that they would get the washing done while the cow was kicking and then go ahead and milk, which is a really great idea, which is basically what I did that today. Ooh. You okay? You done with all that food? You oinked it. I am not done milking. Now my biggest thing, I didn't get to go too much in my last video about it, is having her stand without food. I want her to be trained to stand without food because it's good behavior. She's getting plenty of food, mowing it down, and then when she's done, she wants to kick. Typically when I'm getting close to being done and she starts kicking, I'll keep going because we got to end on a win. We can't, I'm not going to walk away from her kicking me, and so she learns that, oh, I can just kick Kylie and we're done. So I keep going until she stands for a good bit, and then I'm done on my terms. I haven't spilt any milk yet. Was that back? Thank you. And when she kicks, it sounds contradictive, but the closer you are to her, the less likelihood of you actually getting really hurt is. With my arm right here by her leg, if she starts to kick, I can easily stop it with this arm. It's when I'm just starting to milk that it becomes the problem. Can you hear the pigs? I still haven't moved them. Thank you. I gave her a little treat because she didn't kick at all at the end. Now, rewarding good behavior. It's the name of the game today. With the strategy of ending on a win, it's been helping. I think it's teaching her just... That was me holding my camera and he just whacked right just... I was milking the cow last week and I hear the chickens going crazy out here. And I go out there and they're just all running for the hills. I'm like, what is going on? And I see a hawk dive down and get a chicken, lift it up and throw it back on the ground, and it was about to eat it. And I'm running like a crazy person across the pasture, and I'm like, don't eat the chicken! And I'm screaming like a crazy lady, and I saved that dang chicken. You best believe it. I was a crazy chicken lady, and I went out and got my chicken. She was fine. She was bleeding right here on the side of her face. Didn't go through, didn't look like, it looks like he just got a sort of a bite, but I caught him in time. I was running after my chicken. We let him out here every once in a while at a free range, but now I only do it if I'm gonna be out here. They can come out with me for a bit. So that was intense. And that chicken, in case you don't know, if you don't have chickens, we got some crazy chickens right here. In case you don't know, chickens peck at red. If they see blood, they peck at it, and they'll kill each other. They're ferocious. So there's this medicine, it's an antiseptic, and it's blue. It's called Blue Coat. K-O-T, I believe. And if you just, it comes in a spray or like a little swab, and just put that on it, it help obviously disinfects and then makes it blue so the other chickens aren't drawn to it to peck them to death. Also, Vetricin is like my best friend. It's a spray. You can get it at any farm store, Amazon, I think Walmart even, Bimart. Those are like my two things. I have Vetricin, Blue Coat, don't need much more. All right, it has been so rainy, which has been really great, but also we Central Oregonians are accustomed to a certain way of life, and it's dry. Typically, it is a muddy mess out here, especially in high traffic areas. This is kind of dry-ish mud, but like right by the gate over here, oh, it's bad. I'm not used to mud life. Normally, when it's wet, it freezes, so the ground is frozen, or we just need water so bad that it dries so fast. I'm not used to all this mud around this joint. See that? She's up. So today's milking went a lot better, so that's good. Showed you the high tunnel. We got it up. That was a massive relief, because the grant, you fork out the dough, which those high tunnels are not cheap. The grant covered so much, and then our own money, we had to fork out a ton for the lumber. Luckily, lumber prices have gone down. But it kind of leads me into something. I had a dear viewer of ours comment, who I have been encouraging her to do a YouTube channel. And she was like, I'm scared to have imposter syndrome. Do you ever deal with that? And at first I was like, no. And then I got to thinking about it. It took me a couple days to get back to it because I was really mulling it over. I really was thinking about it and actually looking up the phrase imposter syndrome to see what it was. And if you don't know, if you're like me and don't know, it's like letting on that you know more than you do, or it can also go in two ways where you're so kind of insecure. This is me paraphrasing. This is kind of how I took it, at least. Or you're so kind of insecure that you don't really show your full potential, or kind of shy away from the knowledge you have. Then I realized, yeah, I can struggle with imposter syndrome, especially on YouTube. One, you either want to be assured of yourself and know what you're doing, and I hope that I have been forthcoming with you and told you that I don't know what I'm doing. Like last year, I succeeded so well with onion growing and I did it great. This year, not so much. So I can show you what I do to grow onions, but some years are great and some years are bad. And I never want to come across as that I'm showy. But I also, when I started my YouTube channel, was like, this is not a teaching channel. But then realized I will teach you what I know if it's something that is relevant to what I'm doing. And for a lot of you, you find entertainment in watching me and connecting with my family, but you necessarily don't really find much in common growing wise, because we live in a really extreme climate, and I would say the majority of you do not. You live in a normal climate where you don't get frost in summer, or you're not in a zone 3. So I do deal with imposter syndrome on both sides. I hope it's not me being super overconfident and sharing with you things that I kind of hope I veer towards playing down my skills versus up showing them, if that makes any sense. One of the things that struck me recently of what I feel like I haven't been quite as honest with you is our market season. It kind of just, it was a hard year, one, but I'm pretty tenacious. Things like that don't typically keep me down. But I want to be honest with you, and a lot of flower farmers right now are getting thousands and thousands of bulbs and planting them in, and we are going to plant some bulbs. I got some here, but they weren't my priority. I've shared about this a few times in my videos before and told you my priority is this homestead, and I just sometimes this does not apply if flower farming is your main income, if this is your whatever. If it's like your job, you have to obviously spend thousands and thousands of dollars on bulbs. But this is just not my job. It's a job in a sense where I make some money, extra money off of it. It typically doesn't bank any much profit for me. I didn't even break even this year. It was just kind of like a lost cause. The year before, I broke even and made a little. Card was full. And I made a little extra. It is not going to, it's not feeding my family. It's just kind of something fun that I enjoy. And still will be next year. I'm not going to be a hardcore. There's some other YouTube channels out there that every week are going to market, every week doing that. That's just not going to be me. I didn't want to be an imposter on my own channel, but I also don't want to lay everything out there, because you gotta have some personal life, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right now, currently in my life, and I think that there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm not going to get in deep. There's plenty of other channels that discuss all the things that I don't want to do on this channel that you can go find elsewhere. But what I do want to tell you is some things right now in my life are more important to me than putting my money into flower farming. I did buy some bulbs. They were a smoking hot deal. I have 5 boxes of daffodils. I bought daffodils for 2 reasons. Oh, the tulips called to me, but deer resistant, cold hardy, and they multiply. So that's where I'm going to put money. But these were actually only $5 a box. I got them on clearance at Walmart. They're still #1 bulbs. They're 40 bulbs in 1 box, and I got them all each for $5. So I paid $25. So we got 200 bulbs this year. That's okay. That's what I'm going to do this year. If I get some bouquets out of it, fine. If I don't, that's okay. Daffodils multiply, so you have to separate them every, like, I think 5 to 7 years, because if you don't separate them, if you're having daffodils that are only putting off green and they're not flowering, you need to dig them up, separate them, and replant them elsewhere. Then you'll get more. But when they get too crowded, they don't produce. So something to keep in mind. Tulips, on the other hand, they're just as gorgeous. The deer love them. They're considered an annual in the cut flower thing. So my money is going to go to daffodils. I might pick up here and there some that go on sale at different stores. Keep doing that, but I'm not going to be putting an order out. You're not going to see huge bulb orders from me this year, just because my priorities with my finances are lying elsewhere. We're not profitable yet. This is only our 2nd year. So it feels like we're just hemorrhaging money at all costs. So I'm trying to grow a lot of things with seed. I'm not purchasing a lot of my perennials I want to grow from seed, whatever I can. I have a crap ton of seed that I needed, will be started and everything. You got to spend money to make money. I'm definitely spending money, but I ain't making too much money. You know what I'm saying? And also with my priorities being elsewhere. I never want to fear mongrel. I'm not going to fear mongrel you, but I am going to be honest with you. My priorities are lying with different food security items. Learning how to milk my cow better. Providing for feed, which has been astronomical this year. So like, I'm choosing to have my dairy cow raise up a second dairy cow. We have a steer. We have feeder pigs. A lot of our extra money is going towards animal feed. We paid almost double for hay this year for our storage for our cows and pigs and goats and all the things. And feed has gone up astronomical for chickens. And food is going up. There's talks of shortages. There's talks of all sorts of things. I don't want to somehow get in the winter and be like, oh crap, I don't have hay to feed my animals. So my money's going with getting which we already have it. We got a whole winter's worth of hay in the barn and some. Going to get a whole winter's worth of wood and then some. Out here where we live in this harsh climate, most people I know have a wood stove. If you do not have a wood stove and you live out here, I highly recommend getting one. Get a wood stove. It's just good to have in this extreme cold that we can get, and snow and all the things. So you won't see, I don't want to, I guess I still deal with imposter syndrome, and part of my impostering was that I have felt like I can show you I'm a flower, we do flower farming, we do farm marketing, we do all these things, and I've talked to you about it not being my priority. My priority is my family and my homestead, but with a lot of uncertainty in the world, I want to do my part at home. Flower farming isn't going to feed my family if there's no food on the shelves. So there's that. My milk cow will. My milk cow will give us lots of food. My chickens will. The goats will. My pigs. All these things will. They give me something in return. Flower farming is a delight and a joy. And it's a lot of fun. I love flowers, but it's not going to feed my family. So, there's that. So who wants to see these daffodils? Oh, funny. funny. Okay, these were $15 originally at Walmart, and now they went on sale. These are the doubles. The double mix. They're super cute. Adorbs. I thought it was a good deal. 15. These are the pink. I am super excited for this guy right in the middle. There'll probably be like one of that one. Then I got this one, which is the all-in-one collection. It's just both of those collections combined. Part of me wishes I would have bought more, and I went back a couple days later and they were all gone. I spent 25 bucks on my this year's bulbs for the flower farm. Follow me for more flower growing inspiration. Oh, and other news. You guys want to see these super cute gloves? One of my good friends gave them to me for my birthday. They're fingerless gloves. And I was like, these are so cute. They're alpaca. They're adorable. And is it alpaca wool? Wool? I don't know what it's called. And I was like, great. And she was like, oh, I got them for you because of your farming. You could garden in them and you can milk the cow in them. And I was like, oh, actually, that's a great idea. Look it. Now they could probably get gunky, but what else do you use fingerless gloves for? My hands beat the frozen chosen, just regular life. But keeps your hands warm because can't wear winter gloves by milking the cow. We'll give them a whirl. All right, guys. If anything, I want to be upfront with you and share more of my personal life, but also obviously reserve that personal life because it is personal. But I do want to be upfront and forthcoming with you and not fall into imposter syndrome. I want to be telling you the raw real deal, especially right now with all the flower farmers telling you all how much money $5 grand they spent on bulbs. I spent $25. I'm glad I got a couple hundred bulbs for 25 bucks, you know what I'm saying? And I just got to figure out where to plant them. That high tunnel being done is a major relief. That's a praise report. So in my family, we do a thing and it's called praise report. And basically, anytime we see, mainly it's us two, my sister started it, and it's like, you know, the old churches, maybe churches still do it today, but none I've gone to recently, which is kind of sad. You'd have the church congregation and they'd stand up and say their praise report. I think they put it in like the church newsletter or something now, but so anytime I see my sister, we're like, praise report. And we'll tell each other our praise reports. So maybe we should start doing that here. Praise report. The high tunnel's finished. We should be getting our reimbursement any day now. And that was a big load of stress off my plate. Also praise report. The cow is doing better at standing for her milking. And also praise report, 3 praise reports. We got our flowers for $25 bill for 200 bulbs. That's pretty good. So if you have any praise reports, list them down in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys are thankful for right now. It's a perfect month to introduce this. So here we're introducing, on a random whim, praise reports. Let me know what you guys are thankful for down in the comments below. Thank you guys for following along with me. I hope you stick along with this crazy journey. I don't know what I am. Farmer, homestead, flower, veggie. I don't know. I do what I do. And I hope you guys stick along. And I always say stick along. I really mean, anytime I say that, I mean stick around. I hope you guys stick around and enjoy this crazy fun content. And I'll see you on my next video. So long, suckers. Bye, guys.